Lernik, thanks for joining us today. Really appreciate your time. Maybe you could give everyone a little bit of your background and what you do at MSK.
Absolutely, Sloan. First, thank you so much for the opportunity. Great to be here. And hello to everyone. I know we have folks across the globe joining the call. My name is Lernik Essayei, and I worked as Associate Director of Digital Clinical Safety at Sloan Kettering Cancer Center. I have over 15 years of clinical experience, but several years of digital health experience, particularly. What is near and dear to my heart is, of course, women's health and clinical safety in general. So I'm excited to chat about it.
That's fantastic. And if you could just start us off with some of the perspectives that you've picked up over the last few years on how COVID has widened the gap in both women's health and mental health in the world that you work in cancer in New York City.
Absolutely. I mean, I will start with the very obvious statement of COVID truly changed the way everything socially we were living, the reality that we were living, and it had countless impacts, specifically on women's physical, but also overall well-being, including mental health. And I think what is challenging with mental health is mental health toll is that it's really hard to quantify it, but the impact, if not more, is very alarming, unfortunately. And as the pandemic stretched for last few years at least, data also thankfully emerged showing that the toll has been definitely unequal on women's mental and emotional health. And while the COVID infection, we all know, had more severe consequences physically on men, but the mental health consequences for women dealing with that, dealing with not only their care and health, but also family members' health, I think has been stressed that disproportionately affected women both at work and also at home. One of the things that I would like to actually highlight is that there are a lot of studies out there now, again, thanks to collected data over the last couple of years, that one of them was very significant, showing about over 80% of women users reported a significant increase with their depression and mental health burden compared to around 1/3 of men, every third man basically reported that they have noticed significant increase in their mental health. So that is certainly alarming, and this is definitely multifactorial, and we could talk about this for days, but one big factor has been that has been reported out by different entities, social entities, was the dramatic increase of intimate partner violence and violence at home, which put women at an especially high risk for developing mental health problems. And what is shocking and reassuring in the validating this factor is globally we see that dynamic. Unfortunately, we have seen that dynamic during COVID. So it's independent of the culture, but the practice of having women trapped at home with their partners that they have been abused has been a big driver of mental health burden for women, unfortunately.
Yeah, absolutely. That's great that you're bringing that to the front and to the attention of everyone as well. And in terms of the work that you've done, how have you seen the ability to manage stress, especially to folks who are turning to an in-person work-life balance? What are you seeing, and what are you seeing them do to do that, and how is it working?
Yeah. It's very encouraging, to be very honest, in terms of seeing how creative women can get in terms of approaches and facing their challenges. I think it definitely has two parts. Personally, being a woman and talking even with my network of female friends and colleagues, I have been impressed how creative we can become in overcoming systems and policies that will take years and years to change and adapt to the new dynamic post-COVID. One of the things that I have definitely noticed is in terms of the dynamics of the society having the children going back to school, of course, has been super helpful. Another factor playing has been more workplaces have been open to remote working and hybrid working, flexible schedule, which has been a tremendous help in terms of giving that flexibility to women to take care of their family and loved ones at home, but also being able to pursue their career, which is part of the mental health, which is part of their self-reassuring practices that they need outside of home. So those have been good dynamics that we see. There are some struggles now as the post-pandemic era is kind of more defining work-life balance, and there are a lot of studies. There was a recent Google study on what is the best work model currently that we need to pursue in terms of best addressing society's new needs, and they came up with the hybrid model, which I think it's the way that most of women trying to pursue with their workplaces, and on that end, I would definitely emphasize if folks are on the phase of their life that they're starting new career, make sure the workplace is either four-day workplace, which unfortunately we don't have many of them in US yet, but hopefully they will expand soon, or hybrid work model. And I think setting those boundaries with your HR partner, with your managers, has been super helpful